Arsenio, what's the matter? Hey, what happened?
She's sending her back to Spain. She's going now.
What? What do you mean she's going to Spain?
It's not true at all. It's nothing more than a simple coincidence.
Coincidence or not, tell all your bosses and your company that I'm not selling my properties.
All of us have been through difficult times in our lives, but that doesn't justify her. Why do you defend her?
Hi teacher, is it compulsory for everyone to participate in these exercises?
It is not compulsory, but it is a must.
I know I can beat you. Atito unajua wewe ni mtu umesoya gari. Na mimi on my side mtu wa so paru.
But what are they waiting for?
Si mlio wa bunduki. Twa. Alafu go.
50!
Welcome to What's in Your Kitchen, where we celebrate Kenyan and African dishes.
This week on What's in Your Kitchen.
Today I'm at Chelenge Home Studio. What are we going to cook today? For the first time ever, we have an original recipe. It's called Chelenge's Kuku. Yeah. Only found at Chelenge Home Studio. You can find it anywhere else. Iko sawa. Iko sawa.
This is ready.
Nini mnaenda kukamua ng'ombe za shule? Mnanyonya matiti ya ng'ombe. Nani anafanyanga hivi?
Nilipwa na mtoto kidogo, wewe ujifanye baba yake.
Ukanipatia pesa mimi. Nela hiyo.
Mimi si mwalimu.
Basi hapa ya ng'ombe ya ndama ndio hiyo sasa. This when did you teach your baby to come to kunyonya matiti ya ng'ombe? When? Okay, tell you. I'm a baby face, my friend. Mtu mwingine anafanana na hiyo sura.
Sura yako siwezi sahau.
What does she see in this man?
Something she is not seeing in you.
Dalete co-wife.
How is my co-wife doing?
She's fine.
The woman that I loved has been grabbed away from me and
she has freedom to do whatever she wants.
Kitu yote natumia kwa hii nyumba, nataka niweke kwa bajeti yangu.
Achana naye, acha ikae staki.
I really can't wait for this one to make its debut in this world.
The joy.
Uko sure uko sawa?
The bigger the family, the better.
he has been swindling people's property. And as we speak, he has 4 pending court cases.
Na niliambia jemedari hakunisikiza. There is no turning back now.
President William Ruto has today kicked off his 4-day working tour in the Nyanza region. He has started at the lakeside city. We do have our reporter Wycliffe there. And here in the capital, all eyes on the Bomas of Kenya with the National Dialogue Committee members reconvening once more. We do have our reporter Giverson Minor there, as well as the Deputy President, that is Rigathi Gachagua, is currently holed up in a meeting with the Council of Governors in their annual IBEC meeting, discussing other things, including the shareable revenue of the county. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. My co-anchor this afternoon is Brian Muraru. Welcome to our broadcast, and you can also get in touch with us at Abdiaziz Hashim and at KBC Channel 1. Let's start to inform you. I want to take you now to the matters of the cabinet reshuffle, where the National Assembly Majority Whip Silvana Sosoro says the reorganization of the cabinet has set the stage for more reshuffles in the coming months. Now, speaking at the SCK Cathedral Church in Thika during the Requiem Mass of Ayala Member of Parliament Maina Karubia's father, Osoro said there will be no room for underperformance in the Kenya Kwanza administration.
December kuna reshuffle, kuna vitu nyingi mtaona. Kwa sababu competence sasa imeonekana na incompetence pia imeonekana na capacity na load. Kuna wale wako na mzigo. Mzigo yao kidogo ni kubwa kuliko uwezo wao.
And now to Isiolo County, where County Executive Committee members, CECs and chief officers in Isiolo County have signed a performance contract tying them to an agreement to ensure the delivery of all campaign promises. Now, the Deputy Governor, that is Dr. James Lowassa, who presided over the event, said residents can count on the administration to initiate a complete development projects.
Isiolo, I think you'll gauge us in the next 1 year to ensure that whatever we have promised have been done. We need to give our people enough security in the environments that they are, be it farmers, business people, and even the herders.
Now to an unfortunate incident where police in Kiambu County were forced to shut a section of the Nairobi-Nakuru highway after a truck ferrying unrefined edible oil from Mombasa to Uganda got involved in an accident in the Gitaru area. Firefighters from Kiambu County responded to the incident and washed away oil to avert more accidents. Police had a difficult time warding off the residents of the descended onto the truck with containers to siphon the unrefined oil.
Polisi waliweza kufika hapa na wakaweza ku-authorize watu wasikaribie hii lori sana, kwa sababu haikuwa inajulikana ile pande ambayo imelala, na haikuwa inajulikana vile kwa sababu kulikuwa bado na giza. So polisi wa Kikuyu tunawashukuru, walikimbia na wakakuja na wakaweza ku-authorize watu wasikaribie sana, na waomba watu ambao wamechota hii mafuta wasitumie pasipo kujua ni mafuta ya aina gani.
Serikali itumalizie hii interchange juu ya hizi maajali. Wanga inafanyika pande ile ingine, inafanyika hapa.
Also, police in Limuru, Kiambu County are investigating the death of a 65-year-old man whose body was pulled out of his burnt house on Thursday night in Kamadura village. Family members say they tried to put out the fire to save their brother, but their efforts were thwarted by the raging inferno. Limuru Police Commander Philip Moine said investigations are underway to establish the cause of the fire.
Moto tukajaribu kuzima ikakataa. Dakika hiyo tukaona tena mwili, hata hatukujua hiyo mwili.
Manyumba zake zote zimechomeka, kila kitu zote zimechomeka, mpaka vitu za watoto wake wale walikuwa wanakaa karibu na yeye. Hakuna kitu kimechukuliwa. Utuguzi ufanywe ndio tujue kiini ya hii moto ni nini. Moto imetoka wapi? Na hii ndio moto ikuje na ichome kiasi ya vile imechoma hii boma ya ndugu yetu.
Other news, residents of Tinderet constituency have been cautioned against careless deforestation. Tinderet Deputy County Commissioner Esther Oyugi says deforestation has been identified as a major contributor to landslides during heavy rainfall. Oyugi says as the county prepares for the heavy rains, Kenyans must take steps to promote individual and environmental safety.
Ukitembea hapa sehemu hii ya Tinderet, milima mingi ukiangalia juu hivi, unaona miti zimekatwa. Kwa hiyo badala ya kukata miti, tupande miti kote, hata huko milimani na tupande miti.
Part of the country where Fafi Member of Parliament Salah Yakub has called on President William Ruto to appoint a special advisor for the northern Kenya. Yakub says the person will, among other things, link the president to the region on pertinent issues. Speaking in Bura East town after issuing bursary checks to secondary schools in the areas under the zero fees program, Yakub said that with a special envoy, their issues will be heard and addressed in real time.
There's the BET plan, but we want a special Marshall plan for Northern Kenya in terms of teaching, in terms of security, in terms of drought, in terms of flood, in terms of empowering youth and the economy of this area. We know this area is sitting on minerals. This area has the gem for land, which is a very expansive land for farming. Which can bring, we know this area has water table, which can be exhausted out. So we have the issues of refugees.
Now, over 40,000 community groups in Kenya risk being deregistered if they fail to comply with the Community Groups Registration Act 2022. The organization, which includes self-help groups, youths, women groups, persons living with disability groups, and community-based organizations, will also lose their bank account details if deregistered. The Kakamega Civil Society Organization Network has begun a sensitization program to ensure community groups are abreast with the act in order to avoid deregistration.
Imeleta sasa mabadiliko kiasi cha kwamba sasa watu hasa viongozi wa vikundi wataajibika kuhakikisha ya kwamba wanafata ile sheria ambayo imewekwa.
Kuna mabadiliko fulani ambayo groups zitakana zijue, so waweze kuelewa ni mabadiliko yapi ambayo yamekuja, kama yale ya kupatiana reports kabla June tarehe 30.
And now to some good news, where Kenyan track star Mary Mora has been honored with the Kisii County Assembly for her stellar performance on the global stage. Mora was gifted a special carving made out of soapstone and urged to be a goodwill ambassador for the mineral, which is gradually gaining traction locally and abroad. The Kisii County government is hopeful that powerful endorsements of the soapstone will go a long way in popularizing the carving industry.
Huu mchongo ni sculpture ambayo inaitwa hero, na hero maana yake nafikiri kila mmoja anaelewa ni ushindi. Mtu ambaye amefanya kazi nzuri upewa tuzo. Hii ni njia moja wapo, ukiangalia mikono imekumbatia, lakini mwisho wake ametokea akiwa ameshinda. So kupitia kwa muonekano huu watu hupewa kama zawadi kwa sababu ya kazi ambazo ama kwa kazi ambao ni nzuri wameifanya.
Also, residents of Marachi Central Ward in Butula constituency, Busia County, say they welcome the opening of a new cattle market in the area, saying it will bring commercial services closer to them. The residents said they have been walking a long distance in search of markets for their livestock. The residents spoke even as the area leaders announced plans to expand the market to enable it to accommodate more traders.
Central sisi hakuna sokoni ya ng'ombe, na mimi naishi Matanza, ni kilomita 2 kufika hapa. Hapa naona ni karibu sana, inaweza saidia mimi kuuza ng'ombe.
Kuna umbali wa barabara vile mnasema, watu watauzia hapa, na pia naenda kunegotiate kuanzia next week lazima tupoe discount ya kuendelesha hii soko. Hata kama watatupea kwa mwezi mmoja tufanye bila kulipa ushuru, kwanza tuone soko yetu imesimama, si ndio?
And as promised, I want to take you live to Kisumu, where we do understand President William Ruto is touring the Nyanza region for the next 4 days or so. It started today, and of course he addressed earlier in the construction of the Kabonyo Kanyagwal Fisheries and the Aquaculture Center of Excellence in Kisumu. I do understand that we do have our reporter Wycliffe there. Wycliffe, if you can hear me, good afternoon and good to see you. But what else did the President promise to the residents of Kisumu?
Thank you so
so much, Abdi Aziz Hashim, back in Nairobi. But of course, this is the first of the 4 days that the president will be in this region. Of course, we know that the president has been visiting various regions. He has been in the coastal region, the central region, and most recently the western region. And this time he is in the Nyanza region for 4 days, basically to launch various development projects that are aligned to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. And according to the itinerary that we've been able to see, that was shared to us with the spokesperson, State House spokesperson, that Hussein Mohammed, the president has been scheduled to launch just so various projects, and of course to kickstart it, we were with him at the Kabonyo Kanyagwala Fisheries Institute, where he broke ground for the construction of that center of excellence. Straight away from there, the president headed to break ground again for yet another level 4 hospital that is in Ogenya sub-county in Siaya County. Here from there, right there as we speak, the president, that is the ceremony he is presiding over. From there, he's going to open a laboratory lab at the Mubula Training Institute. And of course, from there, the president will come straight here to where we are for the homecoming ceremony for game member of parliament, that is Elisha Odhiambo. And if you can see just basically behind me here, this is a tent that has been erected here for the locals here to come and hear from the head of state. And you can see people have already gathered here waiting the president to hear from him. Of course, he will talk about the various development projects that he has come to commission here, and of course, being this region being an area that have voted with opposition for quite a long time on pause. We can't really prehend, but then we know probably political remarks will also dominate here, and we are here basically to take remark of that and inform our viewers appropriately. But before the president comes, let me just engage one of the former MPs from this region. This is Sylvanus Osele, that is the former MP for Kabondo Kasipul, just basically to share with us what is this major expectation as the president visits this region, and what does that visit means for the region, basically. Mashimia, if you can just basically look here, look into the camera. This is KBC Lunchtime Bulletin. The coming of the president, basically, in the most basic terms, what does it mean for the region?
The region is anxious and happy. Actually, we are surprised and perplexed at how people have turned up to receive the president. We started from Kabonyo Fisheries and Aquaculture Training Center. The crowd that came there, it was impossible even to use the dome that was erected for the president. That tells you how the region has accepted the coming of the president, because basically it's a development tour, and the kind of projects that are being initiated are mega projects. Like the Kabonyo Fisheries project is a 3 billion project, and the groundbreaking and the contractor is already on site to start the work is a big thing to that area, because it's also going to control the flood around that area. So the 4-day span of president visits is a welcome across this region. And we also even thank all the leaders across this region, because we have seen acceptors, including those who are in the other mrengo mwingine wa kisiasa. Tunaona wamekubali mambo ya development, raisi akikuja wakae pamoja. We have not seen any negative activism. The region is welcoming the president, and it's more massive this time round. Everywhere he has gone to, it has practically become impossible to go with a normal arrangement. We have to get another arrangement that can accommodate all the crowds. So I think this is a welcome. But as we are also happy because he's visiting 4 counties of Luo Nyanza, spanning from Migori all the way to Kisumu to Siaya, and all these are development programs. Either one is being initiated or is being commissioned. Personally, I'm also the head of delivery secretariat for Western and Nyanza. And we went across all these projects. The last mile connectivity in water projects is massive, increasing the number of connectivities. And then when you come to the Kabonyo one, that's another big project. When we are here, is just launching a digital lab next. And those who are undertaking training there will move back to their wards, where the ICT hubs are also being initiated by national governments. So they will have ward-based center for ICT. And finally now, it is also good for us to appreciate that the president, despite the fact that this region never voted for him, he has accepted to work with everybody across Kenya. And as we feel our people are very happy, and we are also leading them to work together with the president.
Thank you so much. Abdiaziz, that is one of the political leaders from this region, just telling us that the welcome of the president, of course, he has alluded that the coming has been a welcome, and the president has been welcomed by a majority of the people from this region, and of course, that just explains the anxiety and how anxious the residents of this region were when they heard that the president is coming, and they have of course given him a very warm welcome, because even the leaders themselves, the remarks that have come from them is that they're insisting on the collaborative work between the national government and the county government, and of course all leaders across the political divide, all the sake for the implementation of the development plan by the Kenya Kwanza administration. One thing that I can't really forget to mention, even as we wind up this update, is the Sondu clashes that have that erupted, that is on the night of Tuesday, that have claimed lives and also led to the destruction of property. The president made it very clear that he has directed the Ministry of Interior to apprehend, or rather to fast-track the apprehension of those that were involved in such skirmishes for prosecution. And he has also sent a very stern warning that those that will be caught to have participated in such skirmishes, they won't be dealt with in a very, they will be dealt with squarely, just the same, with the same force that those causing mayhem in the Rift Valley region are dealt with. Well, we are expecting the president here, like I've mentioned, as we speak, he is in Ogenya. From there, he will come to Game for the launch of a digital laboratory. From there straight, he will come here for the homecoming ceremony of the member of parliament for this area, that is Alicia Odhiambo. And where here we will take note, of course, of every remark from himself and other political leaders. This time we haven't seen the deputy president like it was in the Western Kenya and the regions that is visited, but we know the deputy also had other engagements. He has been accompanied by various government officials, among them the majority leader in the National Assembly, that is Ikimani Ichung'wah. And of course, like I've mentioned, we'll be keen on every remark that are being made here, and we'll update our viewers promptly in the subsequent bulletins. For now, Abdiaziz, back to you in studio for the rest of the coverage of the Lunchtime Bulletin.
So much. That is our reporter Wycliffe, just following the president in his 4-day tour, which started today in the Nyanza region. It started with Kisumu. As we just heard from Wycliffe, there are some that are being launched today, others are being initiated in the coming days as well. But let's come back here and focus in the capital. I told you earlier on that we're keeping a close eye at the Bomas of Kenya, where we do understand the members, or the 10-member committee of the National Dialogue Committee reconvened once more and addressed the members of the Fourth Estate in regards to, after collecting submissions, for oral submissions from various quarters and the members of the public. Also, an interesting survey that just came out today is that a majority of you Kenyans feel that the National Dialogue Committee, National Dialogue between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, One Kenya, is now a waste of time, according to the majority of you, with over half of Kenyans strongly believing that the ongoing bipartisan talk will yield no results. Have a look.
The memoranda that we received from the technical team, and I wish to report the following: that we had 31 had delivered memoranda to Parliament buildings, we had 46 delivered to Bomas of Kenya, and we had 181 via email, so a total of 258 memoranda that we have received. Further, by the close of the stakeholder engagements, the committee had received oral submissions from 60 stakeholders and 704 persons drawn from the stakeholders who appeared before the committee since Monday. And we have a list of all the people, individuals and groups that submitted their memoranda, and we wish to take this opportunity to sincerely thank Kenyans who came up in numbers and took time off their work to come and make their presentations to this committee.
We seem to have had convergence on a number of issues so far, and therefore, as we resume next week, we shall basically be focusing on building consensus around those other outstanding issues. And we are sure that we are going to be able to deliver to Kenyans product within the timelines. Okay? That Kenyans should remain hopeful and expectant that this committee is going to deliver on its mandate.
Expect a comprehensive package with our reporter Giverson Minor there at the Bomas of Kenya. You do know that the submissions ended and 256 memorandums they have collected and are in consideration of the technical committee members from both sides, that is the Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. Do expect that particular package in our subsequent bulletins. Now I want to take you to County 023, which is Turkana. Turkana will be the focal point once more come October 12th to the 14th with the Turkana Cultural Festival. I do understand that we have our senior reporter Simon Achola who's already there. Simon, what can you tell us this particular afternoon? Are the preparations completed ahead of that particular festivities?
Well, thank you very much and good afternoon to you, Aziz Abdi. We are coming to you from County 43. That is a county of Turkana, and what we are basically doing here is that we're keeping tabs with the preparations ahead of this year's tourism and cultural festivals that will be going down here in Turkana County. And today we are actually pitching camp here at Eklesi Center. Eklesi Center is basically the ostrich center. This is where the entire event will be going down. And if my colleague can actually just pan so then you get to see or a feel of exactly what is happening here, is that you can see preparation is actually in top gear. Those mandated with the job of ensuring that this place suits what will be happening here have actually been doing the job. And what you're seeing on the screen right now is actually the main podium where, of course, VIPs and other people will actually be sitting. But when you move behind the other side that is on your right, as my colleague just pans the camera, indeed that is where other activities will actually be held. When you move on the other side, you'll see a manyata that has actually been constructed, not very old, but has actually been constructed in a modern way to depict how manyata is actually built in this particular region. On the far left, you'll see a number of other manyatas that have actually been constructed by women. It's actually by grass thatched, and a number of other traditional artifacts will actually be constructed along the other way. And of course, this is where the entire thing of Turkana culture, tourism and cultural activities will be going down from 12th of this month up until 14th. Of course, as I've already said before, we are expecting high power delegation from the national government, but also it is said that probably President William Ruto will be amongst those who will actually be officially launching these particular tourism and cultural festivals here in Turkana County. But of course, there are a number of things that we've actually looked at the security, and we've been reassured how this Turkana County is actually safe, and that rallying call for each and every person who actually wants to come to Turkana County can actually come and be part and parcel of this particular activity. We're also told how hotels are actually ready and waiting to actually accommodate those who will actually be coming. But we cannot be talking about so many things in this county without talking to the mother of this county, the First Lady, of course, who will actually be telling us, we will actually be sending her message to the people of this country and this county, and of course also the country, and also inviting her special guests to this particular function. Karibu sana Mama Lilian. Naomba utueleze kwanza majina lako, ujitambulishe kamili, alafu kisha baadaye ualike wageni wako rasmi ambao umeniambia unataka waje katika shughuli hii.
Okay. Mimi kwa majina naitwa Lilian Kamdee Kamais, First Lady Turkana County. Jambo langu la kwanza siku ya leo, nachukua nafasi kwa kukaribisha wageni wote Kenya mzima katika utalii wetu wa kitamaduni ya Turkana, kusema karibuni sana. Njoni tusherekee pamoja. Kitamaduni, mtu wa kwanza alipatikana hapa Turkana. Na ndiposa tukachukua nafasi ya kuweka utamaduni wetu tukiwa wa Turkana, kwa sababu kila kabila ina mila kwa kila kabila. So hapa kwetu leo hii ama tarehe ambayo iko mbele yetu ambayo ni tarehe 12 mwezi wa 10 tunajiandaa kusherehekea hiyo sherehe ya kitamaduni hapa Turkana County.
Mama Lilian, bila shaka itakuwa ni sherehe ya kukata na shoka. Wengi watakuwa nauliza mama ametualika, lakini ametuandalia nini?
Kabisa nimewaandalia chakula chetu cha Waturkana ambayo kuna hii inaitwa enyas. Enyas ni nyama ambayo inashamushwa, inaboiliwa mpaka inaiva kabisa, inakuwa 2 pieces kidogo kidogo. Kuna ingine inaitwa ngamorumoru. Hiyo ni nyama ambaye ni kama fry, inakatakata kubwa kubwa hivi, ni kama fry. Alafu tumeandaa ni chakula vyetu, machakula vyetu vya Turkana. Kuna hii inaitwa edodo, kuna hii inaitwa edung, kuna hii inaitwa esekon, kuna hii inaitwa elamach, edapal, edung. Kuna hizo machakula tumeandaa. I think mkikuja mtatazama haya machakula na lazima mtaonja, mtafeel kweli Waturkana wako na chakula ya maana. Na hiyo chakula ndio ilitulea hapo awali kabla hizi machakula zote haijatokezea. Hiyo ndio chakula watu wetu walikuwa wanaitumia, na pamoja na maziwa ambaye ni
Naam, mama, nafasi yako kama mama wa kaunti ya Turkana, hebu tueleze kidogo unaitumia namna gani kuhakikisha kwamba unaimarisha sehemu ama nafasi ya wanawake katika jamii ya Turkana?
Mimi nikiwa first lady Turkana County ninaimarisha eneo la wanawake hapa Turkana kwa kutaka wajibuni ama kuendelea kimaendeleo. Hiyo ndio nafasi ninafanya nikiwa first lady Turkana County. Ninataka wanawake wenzangu wenyewe wajisaidie kwa mikono yao na kutengeneza hizi shanga ambayo mimi mwenyewe nimejifalia siku ya leo. Hii ndio kufaa kwetu hapa Turkana wakati wa sherehe kama hii ambayo iko mbele yetu. Hii ndio vile tunafaa. Hii ndio mafasi ambayo sisi hapa tunafaa tukiwa Turkana. Hii ndio inaonyesha kuwa hatujasahau mila zetu bado zinaendelea na bado tunakumbuka mambo kimataduni yetu ya kawaida.
Pengine tu nikuulize, ni swala lipi ambalo wewe umezungumzia? Kwanza, swala la kwanza ni kuhakikisha kwamba mama katika jamii ya Turkana wanaweza kujisimamia na kujikimu peke yao. Hebu nieleze kwamba ni swala lingine pengine ambalo ungetaka liajibikiwe kuhakikisha kwamba mama katika jamii ya Turkana basi anaweza kusimama zaidi.
So mimi nazingatia kabisa nikiwa first lady Turkana County jinsi wa mama watakapojisaidia kimaendeleo, asua kama sehemu kama hapa natakana tuwekee wa mama kitu kama market ya kutengeneza vifaa vyao ya kuuza na kupata fedha ya kuweza kusaidiana ama kusaidia kusomesha nayo watoto wao.
Safi sana. Na tukimaliza tu, first ladies wengine tayari umekwisha alika wageni wote kote nchini. Tuambie first ladies wengine umewalika wangapi na kama wataweza kufika?
Mimi kabisa nimechukua nafasi kukaribisha wana Kenya wote, azini kama president wa Kenya, rais wetu Samuel Ruto na deputy president na magavana wote na maseneta wote. Ninawakaribisha wote hapa Turkana, na bila kusahau mafirst lady wenzangu ambaye 12 wameconfirm kuwa watakuja hapa Turkana, tutasherehekea nao pamoja. Kwa hivyo watakuja, watatazama zile vitu vyote ambazo tunafanya tukiwa Turkana. Ile chakula chetu kando na ile chakula hii ya kawaida ambayo tunaitumia, kuna chakula ambaye ni wa Turkana na watakuja kuona na tutakula pamoja.
Asante sana. Of course, that is the first lady of Turkana County, Lilian Kamaisi, putting us into perspective of exactly what we'll be expecting here in Turkana County, especially during that tourism and cultural festival that is expected to go down from 12th of this month up until 14th. More importantly, she's saying that she's remaining steadfast in ensuring that the woman of Turkana County stands on her own. Chola Simon, and back to you, Aziz Abdi.
Thank you so much. That is our senior reporter, Simon Achola, just giving us a tip of the iceberg of what we're going to experience there in Turkana County. And yours truly, KBC Channel 1, will be airing a wall-to-wall coverage of those festivities from 12th of October all the way to the 14th. And of course, Achola, some of our colleagues will be joining you there in a few days' time. And thank you so much. And thank you for the First Lady also giving us the invitation to come to Turkana County. Of course, all roads are leading to Turkana County. And on that note, we need to take a short commercial break in this particular retrospect of the KBC's Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. I had told you initially earlier about what are you feeling in regards to the bipartisan talks that are currently ongoing at the Bomas of Kenya. We do have the statistics for you. That and so much more on the other side of the break. Don't go too far.
The Kenya Forest Service invites all parents and guardians to the passing out parade for the Forest Rangers recruits on 11th of October 2023 at the National Youth Service Gilgil from 7 a.m. The new Forest Rangers will greatly contribute to the Kenya Forest Service mandate of conserving, protecting and sustainably managing forest resources for the benefit of all Kenyans. The Kenya Forest Service, towards 30% tree cover by 2032. Wajibu wa kila Mkenya.
Government of Turkana welcomes you to the Ehale Center in Lodwar Town for the 7th edition of the Turkana Cultural and Tourism Festival. From 12th to the 14th of October 2023. Come, experience the origin of mankind with its unmatched beauty from the beaches of Lake Turkana to the oil wells of Lokichar. Live on Channel 1, Radio Taifa and KBC Turkana Service.
Tupo hapa katika shule ya Lona Waddington. Lona Waddington Lona Waddington
na ukelele vya vuma dunia nzima, kwa bunduki na mishale vinamaliza uzima.
Kina baba, kina mama na watoto wote walilia machozi wakisema.
Mimi nashukuru kwa hawa walionipa Mungu. Nani kasema haya maneno?
Maneno hayo yalisemwa na Ridha. Alikuwa akimwambia mwanawe Mwangeka.
Kwa namwambia mwanawe Mwangeka umepata. Nirudishie mfuko huu kama ishara ya kulitupa penzi.
Msemaji ni Bwana Suluhu.
Msemaji ni Bwana Suluhu.
Alikuwa akimwambia Abigail.
Welcome to What's in Your Kitchen, where we celebrate Kenyan and African dishes.
This week on What's in Your Kitchen.
Today I'm at Chelenge Home Studio. What are we going to cook today? For the first time ever, we have an original recipe. It's called Chelenge's Kuku. Yeah. Only found at Chelenge Home Studio. You can find it anywhere else. Iko sawa. Iko sawa.
This is ready.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We start off at the Bomas of Kenya once more, where 61.3% of Kenyans believe that the National Dialogue Committee is a waste of time. With many of you, according to the survey done by Timely Kenya, many Kenyans polled say that the researcher also stated that a majority of residents in Meru County believe that the impeachment of Mary Mwangaza only will resolve the political statement in the county.
61.3% of the people thought it was a waste of time. 34% thought it was going to achieve the purpose that it was created for. 3% felt like there will be a differ during report writing between the members of the committee because of their differences. 1% felt like it was a tax feasting avenue, and 0.7% really did not care. 68.7% of the people who were conducted on this survey were of the idea that she should be impeached. 26.7% felt there was no need for her to be impeached. 2.9% were undecided. 1% don't know, and 0.7% had no answer.
Now to the unsung heroes in our society, teachers who have displayed exemplary performances in various disciplines this year in Machakos County have been feted. More than 160 tutors drawn from various public, primary and secondary schools in Mwala Sub-County and Machakos were awarded certificates for scaling up literacy levels among learners, bridging the digital divide and promoting learning through technology, among others.
Tukafanya survey, tukaonelea kukaa tu si suluhu, tunafaa kusaidia. And that's how we had the girl-boy empowerment program led by Faith. Madam embraced the program and decided to be part of the program. Tukitoka mwaka jana, statistics 2022 kufikia leo 2023 hatujapima kuanzia leo, lakini kuanzia pale there is zero pregnancy.
Elsewhere, some 2,029 passports have been processed this week and are ready for collection at the immigration offices in Nakuru County. The County Commissioner, Liford Kibara, says that another 5,090 applications for passports are being processed and will be ready within 2 weeks. He said a total of 7,119 applicants had been made by Nakuru since the launch of the Rapid Results Initiative a fortnight ago.
We want to make sure that the issuance of passports, both at the people who are applying, we shorten that time, and again we make sure that the pending passports that we are not collected are collected within that period.
Welcome to the world of business. The economy expanded by 5.4% in the 3 months to June this year compared to 5.2% recorded in the corresponding quarter of 2022. This is according to the latest data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, which attributes the performance to a rebound in agriculture following good rains and the services sector.
The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics says the agriculture sector expanded 7.7% during the 3 months to June this year, a notable improvement from the 2.4% contraction reported in the same quarter of 2022. Financial and insurance grew 13.5%, accommodation and food service 12.2%, and information and communication 6.4%. This saw the economy register a growth of 5.4%. The manufacturing sector recorded a dip of 1.5% compared to 3.6% growth in the same period last year. In the last 3 months to June, the current account deficit narrowed from 206.2 billion shillings to 138.7 billion shillings in the second quarter of 2023, driven by a slight reduction in expenditure on imported commodities and an increase in exports. During the period, Kenya narrowed its trade deficit from a deficit of 429.8 billion shillings in the second quarter of 2022 to a deficit of 397.8 billion shillings. This was occasioned by a 9.6% increase in exports to 249.2 billion shillings, coupled with a decrease in import expenditure. The growth in exports was largely supported by increased exports of tea, horticulture, coffee, iron and steel in the quarter under review. The bulk of the export earnings were from the African continent, valued at 105 billion shillings. Over the same period, a 1.4% decline in import expenditure was registered to 647 billion shillings, primarily due to a decline in imports of petroleum products, iron and steel, industrial machinery, animal and vegetable oils.
Kenya has signed a deal with the African Development Bank to host the lender's next annual meeting. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndugu says the event is a platform for discussing issues on Africa's socio-economic development.
The Africa Development Bank Group is one of Kenya's key development partners, with a total portfolio of about 3.9 million as of August 2023 across various sectors including infrastructure, transport, water, sanitation and energy. To this end, the government and the Africa Development Bank Group have signed a memorandum of understanding detailing arrangements for hosting the bank's group's annual meeting slated for from May 27th to 31st of next year. Professor Njuguna Ndugu says the MOU is an important milestone in relationship between the lender and Kenya.
Let me indicate to you that this is a culmination of the bilateral meetings that have been held by our team, which is an interministerial task team of government ministries, departments and agencies to discuss and ascertain the hosting requirements of the 2024 annual meeting.
The meeting is expected to draw over 4,000 participants, including ministers of finance from the bank's groups, 82 member countries, CEOs, civil society, academia and development practitioners. This will be the fourth time Kenya hosts the Africa Development Bank's group annual meetings, the first three being in 1968, 1993 and 1994. Kenya is working closely with the Africa Development Bank to accelerate the rechanneling of the IMF special drawing rights to developing countries through multilateral development banks.
Innovative financing mechanism will strengthen the bank's ability to mobilize additional resources to help address Africa's development challenges and due to infrastructure deficits, food insecurity, rising youth unemployment, and the global challenge posed by climate change.
Edna Murungi, reporting for Lunchtime News.
Still with the CS, the National Treasury and Cabinet Secretary, that is Professor Njuguna Ndugu, will have the powers to determine the maximum price of maize flour, wheat, rice, cooking oil, sugar, paraffin, diesel and petrol if a draft of bill currently before Parliament is enacted into law. The Price Control on Essential Goods Amendment Bill 2023 that is sponsored by Huisero Member of Parliament Christopher Seka seeks to shield Kenyans from high prices of commodities.
The cost of common user items is very high. Kenyans are complaining about the cost of foodstuffs. The inflation rate are very high. We've tried all avenues, the Mandamano route. We've been complaining. It is also a topic before the bipartisan committee. But I saw it wise through a legislative amendment to give it legal impetus so that the cabinet secretary has that power to reduce the price. Some of the costs that have been attached to these products is because of the taxes and tariffs. For us to improve on the prices, we must attack and reduce the taxes and the tariffs on these products for a period of time before the market stabilizes.
Price control never works anywhere in the world, especially strictly in terms of subsidies. The personal view is that price control may lead to a bigger problem, where you are controlling prices, then you trigger even a more catastrophic phenomenon of scarcity. You know, on the other side, when a producer feels they are not being paid enough money to produce the commodities, then they cease production.
My interest is to make sure that the areas that are receiving the current amount of money continue receiving the same amount of money, but the areas that have more people should get an allocation more to take care of the extra population. But it is not my intention to have some constituencies lose so that the other constituencies can.
Now across our borders, where delegates at the ongoing Africa Tourism Leadership Forum in Botswana are advocating for players to maximize on opportunities in the digital, creative and cultural spaces. The African Tourism Partners CEO Kwake Donko is challenging tourism industry players to leverage technology to market or offer services.
The Africa Tourism Leadership Forum 2023 is underway in Gaborone, Botswana. The forum has attracted representatives from at least 30 African nations who are exhibiting tourism products and deliberating on ways to maximize opportunities in Africa.
The creative industry and culture have been sitting on the peripherals of this sector. However, having the event here last year, some of the activities that were shown here, there were some fantastic performance, also shows clearly that we cannot do tourism without mainstreaming the work of our colleagues, sisters, brothers in the creative arts and the cultural industries.
The Kenya Tourism Federation CEO Suzanne Ndereto says the forum has been an eye-opener for tourism players in Kenya to tap the immense opportunities in the country.
We look at each other and think, if I come to work in Botswana, I'm already a competition to the Botswana skills that are here. We should look at it as an exchange of ideas from one country to another and build our own expatriates within the African Bank of Tourism Professionals. Because once we do that, then we'll stop importing, and I have nothing against the international market, but we'll stop importing and use what we have indigenously.
The forum encourages the use of technology to shape the future of intra-Africa travel.
Imagine logging in to this tool and you have a budget, and it basically populates to you the location, the activities, and the opportunities for you to go basically see and interact with the local people. It will provide an opportunity for the local people who are selling items, souvenirs, from a cultural aspect in that location.
The 6th Africa Tourism Leadership Forum in Botswana is encouraging women and youth to maximize on opportunities in the tourism sector in the region. The forum is expected to strategize on ways to sustainable tourism and improved livelihood in the continent. Irene Mchuma Odem, Channel 1 in Gaborone, Botswana.
Back here to the country and head over to Migori County, where Migori County residents have been urged to utilize the Sori Beach Fish Landing Facility in a bid to boost their earnings from fishing and better their livelihoods. Secretary in the State Department of Fisheries, Roderick Kundu, affirmed that the facility, valued at 140 million Kenya shillings, has been transferred from the national government to the county government.
The government, through the State Department of Fisheries, completed the construction and equipping of an ultra-modern fish landing site at Sori. The site has been equipped with fish storage facilities, processing sections, ice-making plants, power backup generators, fish byproducts and waste management machines. The move is intended to empower area residents and shape the fishing trade in Migori County.
At the long run, this project is going to be self-sustaining because there will be small charges for the cold storage and also the landing fees for this facility.
Principal Secretary in the State Department of Fisheries, Roderick Kundu, has confirmed that the 140 million shillings facility has been transferred from the national government to the county government of Migori.
Payment, we have already addressed that. We are in touch with the contractor, and there is no alarm about that. So everything is okay. We have assured the community that we are not handing over any debt. The national government is handling the issue of the contract that was agreed between the contractor and us.
Fish traders in the area have been challenged to utilize the facility and avoid post-harvest losses. At the same time, locals have been challenged to form cooperatives to help them access financial solutions to bolster their businesses.
Wapeane watu wa cooperative societies pesa na wawe ndio wanunue samaki, na hiyo samaki huwa inatunzwa hapa kwa tutakuwa sasa na soko moja, na tukiachia mambo ya agents hiyo kazi haitaendelea vizuri kwa sababu wengine wanachukua samaki na wanapita nazo wanaenda.
Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
And now let's get sporty. The 14th leg of the KCB East Africa Golf Tour will be held at the 9th hole Machakos Golf Club this weekend. The event has attracted 140 golfers who will fight for the top 2 positions in a bid to qualify for the grand finale of the tour scheduled for next month at the current Country Club. The series has so far seen 12 teams book a spot in the Pro AM event. Tomorrow's will culminate golf clinic on Sunday morning for the juniors and ladies. Now to Europe, where English side Liverpool extended the Europa League unbeaten run by securing a 2-0 win over Union Saint-Gilloise last night. West Ham United matched their spirit as they beat German side Freiburg 2-1, while Brighton and Ajax Amsterdam were held to a 2-2 and a 1-1 draw respectively.
Nunez.